Welcome to Three Dads in a Pod, where three friends who are so good at being dads decided to make a podcast about it. Please be advised, by listening, you may need to remind yourself not to hate them for being this awesome. Now grab a drink, pull up a chair, and don't listen to anything they say because they're idiots. Here's your hosts, Will, Wes, and Colin.
Gentlemen, good to see you. How's life?
Life's good, man.
How's life?
Life's
What's
life.
new? Anything new?
Well, you just finished your beach trip, so how was that?
Beach was legit. Yeah, we were there for a little less than a week. We were at Anna Maria Island. I don't really know what to say about it other than it was a perfect vacation. It was super chill. But for anyone listening who's local to Florida or travels to Florida often, Anna Maria Island, specifically Bean Point, I feel like it would give any beach on the east coast of the United States a run for its money.
Wow, you heard it here.
You heard it here first. Bean Point, everybody.
That could be controversial, by the way.
Why?
If you're listening and you completely disagree, let us know. Let Colin know. Let him hear it.
I'm just saying, I used to have a nickname. They used to call me the captain of Bean Point.
What?
I know it's
Moving on.
stupid. So stupid, dude.
Actually, so speaking of vacation, this is kind of interesting. So Kelsey and I are going to St. Augustine on Wednesday night. We're going to see a Goo Goo Dolls concert. Friends gave us 2 tickets a while ago. I think they were Christmas gifts. And that will be between the half day that I take off on Wednesday and the full day I take off on Thursday. That will be, I think, 17 and a half vacation days that I've taken in July.
So
And
what's on
just
saying
for
is he's unemployed.
it's July 21st for those that are listening.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. It's not technically just July. It started in the last week of June. So yeah.
It's still okay.
But in the past
4 weeks.
In the past 4 weeks, it's 17 and a half days of vacation.
Hilarious.
You just successfully have taken more vacation days than I have in 7 years on the road.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, actually.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
If it was just July, 17 out of 21 days you haven't worked.
Yeah. But the perks of working at a college campus is in the summer when you do stuff like this,
Oh, that's true.
you really don't miss much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to check on a couple of things during the time off that I've had, but
We should ask the president what he thinks about, like, if there's anything going on.
I had the time off. It's not like it's PTO.
I'm joking.
There's nothing going on. It's important right now. The most newsworthy thing that's taken place within the last week was Shane Gillis absolutely killing it at the ESPYs.
No
As
one
the
was safe from
host.
that.
Did you listen to that, Colin?
I don't know who Shane Gillis is, and I've never watched the ESPYs.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and cut that out because the fact that you don't know that makes me want to quit this podcast right now, dude.
Inform me.
I'm
Who is
kidding.
Shane Gillis?
He's one of the best comedians, if not the best comedian today. He's hilarious. You've definitely seen a clip or have
Probably.
heard of him through something else. But anyways,
I'm definitely not like Mr. Pop Culture, so
That's true,
I
you're
could
not.
probably blow your mind with the number of things I don't know that most people know.
that's fair, actually. I shouldn't assume that you
This
would
is
know
great.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy. You clap for that.
It's crazy you clap for that.
Four-time WNBA All-Star
that. So
Brittany.
funny.
Dude.
That's one of the best ones.
I've never seen that guy.
All right. So you need to. I actually think you would find him super funny, Colin.
Yeah, Probably.
On YouTube, he has, if you ever have like 45 minutes to an hour, you could probably listen to, honestly, this might be a new thing to try, but listen to stand-up comedy while you're running versus like anything else. Because if you're running for an hour, it's like the perfect amount of time to listen
Yeah.
to a full stand-up like act.
Uh-huh.
But on YouTube, there is a hilarious stand-up of Shane Gillis. You gotta check it out.
Send it to me. I'll listen to it.
He's
This is
hilarious.
the last one. This is the last one. It's about Bill Belichick because you'll think it's funny. It's great.
Is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime. They do. They read.
Wait, was that his girlfriend?
Caterpillar?
No.
The little engine that could, but needed a pill first. And of course, the classic goodnight boobs. That's my favorite one. Also, I'm not trashing Bill Belichick. First off, he's 73 years old and he's dating a hot 24-year-old and people are criticizing him. What happened to this country?
What happened to this
Country. He won 6 Super Bowls. Yeah. He's dating a hot 24-year-old. Maybe if you guys won 6 Super Bowls, you wouldn't be sitting next to a fat, ugly dog wife. They let me do it. I don't. This is Disney.
For somebody that appreciates comedy and loves when people kind of push the boundary, he did that. It wasn't politically correct. He said some, if you want to call it like controversial things.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are fans of comedy love it. The people that are all just kind of overly sensitive to things have criticized him for that. But I thought it was great. That's what comedy should be, is raw, uncensored. You make fun of stuff that's taking place in the real world. Will, what about you, man? Besides you coming over to my house, staying for 2 nights, blessing us with your presence, playing some poker, losing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how'd
relatively
poker
fast.
go?
I would say it went horribly because I was in position with only 4 people left to, for sure, at the very least, get second place. And then I just started playing a little reckless and let some people double up.
I think it was karma. So I don't really give a shit that you lost
Yeah,
like money.
so I ended up getting 3rd place and not being in the money, which sucks. But the worst part about it, truthfully, was, I know I'm kind of just like stepping in on Will's.
I do it to you guys all the time. Go ahead.
I had to wait. I didn't say I had to. I made plans to wake up at like 5 a.m. on Saturday to go do like an open water swim in Orlando. So I had to like drive about an hour and a half to go to the spot. Will and I didn't go to bed till 1 because we were talking after poker ended with David and some other guys till like 12:30, 12:45. So it's probably the worst thing. I got to that swim. I was exhausted. Oh, it was the worst.
I tell you what, though, bro, as hard as that was, it opened the door for such an amazing moment. Like, just for me being able to wake up in your house with Margot and Leah and go down and make breakfast with them. And
You're such an idiot, dude. Shut up.
and just kind of like she like ran up to me when I gave her eggs and bacon and she said, Dada. And it was honestly such a special moment that
I was so pissed off because I leave the lake and I'm on my way to come home and I wanted to let Leah know I was on my way to come home. I call Leah 3 times. She doesn't answer. I call Will just to see if he was at my place still or if he had left because I knew he was going to have a long drive. So I'm like, oh, I'll just like talk to Will for a little bit while I'm in the car. Will doesn't answer. Like 45 minutes goes by. At this point, I'm like kind of annoyed.
It was 45 minutes.
Dude, it was a while. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it was 30 minutes.
Oh.
But either way, I call Leah again. She answered and she's like, hello? I'm like, what? Like, I've just called you like 3 times. Like, I was starting to get a little worried. She's like, oh, sorry. Will and I have just been talking. Sorry, we weren't paying attention to our phone.
No, we actually were like, but I'm pretty sure my phone was on silent, so was hers. But Margot was just playing around the living room, and we were just catching up. And she like looked at her phone, and she's like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh great." I go, sure. I literally texted Aaron. I got up and texted her. I said, "Hey, I'll be out of here in like 10 minutes." And when Wes called, it had been like an hour. And I was like,
Yeah.
but I mean, you just have such a good wife, man.
Yeah, but man, tell us about your week, bro. Tell us about how things been going.
So did you win poker, Will?
No, he was the
No,
first one
Wes.
out.
No, it wasn't. No, I was
Wait,
not.
yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Who was?
Um, was it John?
No.
Was I really the first one out?
Yeah, you were first one out.
No, because I thought I tried to rebuy and there was only like 3 or 4 people left. It was
There was-
David, you, Matt, and it was you, David,
Oh no,
Matt,
John was
Vince,
first one out. John was first one
and
out.
then you that hand that I lost on.
Then it
went
was
on the other
you,
guy.
and then it was Zach.
No,
Or
you and
Zach,
you.
then you. It was like in the same
No.
hand. I think I knocked you both
Yeah,
out.
it was
or
the
something.
same hand you knocked us
Okay.
out on with a freaking ace,
Yeah.
bastard. But no, I mean nothing's really new. Status quo. I mean, I'm on solo dad duty tonight. I was obviously gone 2 days for work last week, so Erin was on solo mom duty, so she had to go to Orlando for some cosmetics, and I just told her to like stay the night, hang out with Leah. So, but I would say the only thing that's exciting that obviously this will air after the fact, but I'm getting a golf cart for Erin for her birthday.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, it's kind of like a gift for us,
Sweet.
but
Yeah.
I've been really pressing her like we need to not do that right now, and I've been really setting the stage. And honestly, that's exactly what we shouldn't do probably right now, like in terms of like following our plan. But there was a really good deal that popped up, like ridiculous, so I just jumped on it and thought it was perfect. So I'm giving
And you
it
guys live in a neighborhood where it's just so ideal to have that too.
yeah. I'm in a neighborhood where if you roll up in a car, like people like shun you, like, oh, like if you have if people leave their garages open just so you can see their golf cart, I'm just kidding. That's not true. It's just like me and Aaron joke about it because every time we go up there, like there's a parking lot for golf carts and people always have roll up. Oh shit. She just texted me, LOL. Please don't tell me like somehow she. Oh. No, it's to my mom's text, dude. Why do I always feel like that happens to me?
You thought she heard you somehow?
Dude, that would have been so funny.
Literally
Like,
right after I
you have a
just
ring
said that.
camera or something, and she's like, "Oh, let me just see what Will's doing," and she listens to that. That would have
Yeah,
been
no,
hilarious.
she was talking about my mom.
It actually wouldn't have been. I would have felt really bad because I know you love surprises, but
I know I would have been really hurt because it's
Yeah.
like 2 days away, 3 days away. But
that's
we're done
exciting,
talking
dude.
about that. Yeah, thanks, man.
Nice, bro.
That's cool.
Nice. Congrats,
But-
dude.
Do you think she has any idea
No,
that it's coming?
absolutely not.
Nice.
Absolutely not. And it's even more perfect because it's coming from Orlando. So Tyler and Leah are coming up this weekend for her birthday. So he's bringing it on a flatbed trailer. So he's just gonna roll up to the house with it. So it's gonna be sweet.
Shout out Tyler, man.
Nice.
Yeah, everyone.
Last thing I'll add in terms of what's going on, because speaking of purchases that maybe weren't like the best decision financially, but are awesome. Definitely not as expensive as a golf cart, but Kelsey and I just bought on Prime Day. We bought a Ninja espresso and coffee
Ooh, I saw
machine,
that.
like the full like barista
Yeah.
system thing.
Dude.
I guess I can't really plug it as like a product of the pod because it's not really a parenting product. It's legit.
Bro, if there's one person that has needed that, it's you, bro. You're such a coffee connoisseur. For you not to have one is criminal at this point.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like I just made like
Are
I
you
made,
shooting it like before your runs?
yeah, well, yeah, now I don't even have to make a pot of coffee, but like in the morning, like I'll just get up, I just shoot it, take a shot of espresso, and then I mean, I still have to wait for the poop to come out, which is always an event, but yeah, it's more enjoyable, like pre-run coffee. But I just made cold brew today with cold foam. So like all you have to do is put an ounce of milk in the frothing cup, and then 2 ounces of heavy cream, and the like automatic frother thing does thing, and it literally turns it into cold foam. It's so good.
That's so. See, those are purchases that like are just. I feel like they feel the best because it's something like one that you use all the time. Two, you care about. Like you've always been a big coffee guy,
Yeah.
and so like that's a purchase that, like you said, there's a billion things that can always be like, should I have done it? But that's when like you get the value out of.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for you to make me coffee. I'll add this.
Oh.
It was my birthday 10 days ago. So,
Do you feel older?
yeah, so turning 33, Jesus year. I don't feel older, but I will say this. This past year was a really life-changing year for me in a lot of different ways, so I'm really excited about year 33. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I always reflect on the prior year and kind of like think about memories or think about big events and things that have taken place, whether that's the actual calendar new year or like my birthday year. And this is one of the years, maybe more so than like any year in my life, where I felt like I just did things in a number of areas. I'm just going to do this. I don't care if I feel like I'm ready or not. Like this is an example of that. Like us just being like, let's
Like a podcast.
freaking start a podcast, and like we've been talking about it for so long. I don't know. I just think it's really cool to look back at decisions like this and see where it plays out, or to see what you learn from it, and hopefully whoever's listening can be influenced to do the same. So yeah, it's my last little West nugget of motivation.
Huh. I think that's big. Honestly, you saying that makes me think I should do that more. I feel like I don't even remember a time that I did that.
Did
Like
what?
like either a calendar year or my birthday year, been like sit down and be like, what are some things that like I reflect on in terms of like diligently doing that, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, it's like, oh, that was great. Like, but I probably should, because it could also probably check your ass too. Like, but it could also be something of like pat yourself on the back, which is needed as well. Like you said, there's a lot of things that you've accomplished in the past year.
Or just like a perspective change or shift or reminder, like kind of what we were talking about when you were over, like how you can get sucked into the busyness or chaos of life and forget that where you're at today is what you prayed about years ago, or what you've accomplished today is something that you hoped you would be able to accomplish years ago, and you forget that you're living the life that you wanted because you're so busy on the next thing, or you're never satisfied or content. It's not a bad thing to like strive and hunger for more, but to just take a pause in life and be like, man, like I did a lot this past year, or man, this year was a really life-changing year.
Would you say the triathlon was like the thing that you're most like makes you feel the most accomplished from the past year?
I think personally, yes, but I also think that things have played out career-wise that I feel really fortunate to have gone through. I think this year, I just feel like an awakened fulfillment of being a dad this year more so than I did the prior year. And I think that has to do with Margot being at an age where I just feel more involved. I feel more present. And part of that has to do with my job too. I think that's opened doors for me to be at home more and be around more. So I'm enjoying things. I'm seeing things more. And there's all these like things that you do with your kids that are their firsts too. And I felt like this past year were a lot of firsts for Margot. Like going to Disney or
Blaming you for farting.
yeah. Oh yeah. All the
Like,
time.
I know it's stupid, but just things like that. Like that's a like high level interaction. Like I'm being like, I know it's a funny thing, but like Margot a year ago, like just the fact you're able to have these interactions with her are like super exciting.
Yeah, dude, it's the best. It's
Like I
literally the
was
best
I
thing
was
ever.
having a blast at your house. Like I told you that so many times. Like it's crazy how like I felt like Callie like hasn't developed and grown up a lot. But then I hang out with Margot and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like a little human. Like being like, I want peaches, and be like, thank you. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
it's like
crazy,
she's
dude.
so, and like the happy birthday thing, like she's like trying to blow out candles, and then like she chokes on the smoke that she blew out, and then she like continues, like she doesn't give up. She's like choking, but like still trying to blow it out. But just
And
like
that little dinosaur egg game, like she wanted to play that with you.
yeah,
We're upstairs playing, and she like, because you played with her. We were talking about this, Colin, when Will was here, how it's 5 or 10 years ago. If you would have said, "Hey, I'm gonna go over to," what did you say?
if you told me that you were gonna come hang out at my house and we were gonna go sit in your daughter's playroom and put puzzle pieces of dinosaur eggs into a thing, like there's no world where I'd be like, that would be fun. And it was a blast, because like it's the same thing, like I bet you guys feel, but you like think of your kid when you're playing, especially when it's like we're all close, so like I feel connected to you guys anyway, but like it's so fun seeing Margot do things that Callie can't do yet, but like she's getting there, and it's like I'm almost seeing the progression through Margot that I know Callie will be at one day, so it's like exciting
Yeah.
to see that.
So we are going to take a little break from the scheduled programming of recounting the kind of earliest days of our journeys into fatherhood, and we're going to do a Q&A session for this episode. So how it's going to work, we have a list of questions to use if needed, but Wes and Will have both posted online and are fielding questions live, and so we're just gonna kind of fire off the cuff as the questions come in. I know there's already a little log of them, so we'll just kind of see where it goes. We might jump down rabbit holes. Who knows where it'll take us? But figured this will be a fun way to kind of break up what we've been doing. So,
And we're gonna try to, because I have like 7 or 8 right now.
yeah, we'll try to keep things concise to get through as many as we can.
To get to as many, so we're not
Yeah,
like
that's a
stuck on
big
one
thing for
question
you guys to think about, because usually I'm pretty short-winded. So
All right, Will, I know you have a few. You wanna rattle one off?
yeah, it's kind of tough. There's so many. So much interaction.
Champagne problems after you go viral, you know?
This is from one of the best buds, Tyler Raymond. At what age is it appropriate to teach your child to become a degenerate gambler? Asking for a friend. I would like to go first because I feel I have I wouldn't say addiction, I would just say passion for gambling. I think there's an early enough age.
You're such an idiot.
Oh, hold on. Wait, just let me get there. I need a fresh zen for this. I don't think there is a young enough age. I think they all can teach you something. Like, for example, poker is, you're playing the cards on the table in your hand, and you're playing the people around. You'll find yourselves in a lot of situations like that in life. And I think understanding those dynamics, those type of skills, can be applied to different areas.
Will, I get what you're saying. Reading the room.
Yes.
I get that.
Yes.
Okay.
Reading the room.
I get where you're going.
Because the poker tables, no one's really talking, and if they are, they're reading cues, they're reading body language. I just think that's why I never really liked poker that much, and I just got into it the past year. But I've really enjoyed the human aspect of it, how you turn a game into you turn a card game into a human game, which I enjoy. But no, I will say that I cannot wait until Callie is 18 years old and I can take her to a casino and play with her. And she will be a weapon. She will have perfect basic strategy in blackjack.
We're going to teach her how to count cards, and they're going to start breathing.
She will go viral on TikTok for being like an 18-year-old poker savant. I don't even know what savant means, honestly. It just sounds good.
Yeah.
But no, I think obviously gambling can be a slippery slope, but I will teach her the cues to gambling without gambling. But life is a gamble. And if you don't take risk and chances, calculated risk and chances on yourself, you may never, obtain your full potential, physically, mentally, or financially. So, I'll leave it on this. it could be the luckiest day of your life, but you'll literally never know if you stop gambling. So that's a fact.
Spoken like a true degenerate.
So, all right, Wes, you.
I'll give a quick answer to that. I learned how to play poker in elementary, junior high age range. So, will I teach my daughter how to play poker? Probably not. If I have a son, will I teach him how to play card games, poker? Absolutely. So, what is the earliest age? Probably around the same time frame. Will they be allowed to gamble before they're 18? No, unless it's with friends
What are
at
you,
the
a fucking
house.
nut? I'm pulling up on, hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you here. Like, probably that age. Do you know all the things that are going on with sports? Why people are so elite in different sports and weightlifting and football and basketball? Because they start training when they're freaking 3 and 4 years old.
Yeah,
So
that's true. You know
why
what we
would you?
should do? We gotta get Colin's answer as well, but we should just lock in that we're gonna take Margot and Callie to the Hard Rock because they're gonna be similar in age range. So I'll just wait till Callie's 18, and then we'll just go to the Hard Rock. Unless Colin's also game, then we can just all three plan for it right now. So let's get Colin's answer. Colin?
I mean, I'm sure you guys can probably assume I'm going to be the dissenting opinion here. I mean, I don't really have anything against poker or gambling in general. I just personally don't think that it's fun. So I'm not going to teach Eden because I just I would have to learn how to do it myself and then also find it fun enough to teach her. But I will say, Will, I think you do bring up an interesting point. I don't know that there's probably areas where I disagree.
I can
But well, no, but I think to your point, I think honestly, no matter what skill you're learning, if somebody takes something serious enough that they're trying to actually pursue mastery in it, it's inevitably going to teach you something about life. Just simply trying to master something, you're going to encounter roadblocks. It's going to have some kind of application to the real world. Despite that, on the large scale, I don't really necessarily have any interest in teaching Eden gambling. I couldn't teach her because I suck at it, and I don't want to even be good at it. Yeah, I think that you have a point there.
I appreciate that. You made that sound really deep about gambling. I will say, as a gambler, that like any skill, I would say gambling has a more negative, you'll hit roadblocks, but your roadblock could be bankruptcy. If you're
yeah.
if you're an idiot with it.
Yeah.
So again, gambling is not good unless you're passionate and responsible like myself.
That's a
But
stretch.
if you're those two things, then you can do it every day. It's fine. So
All right.
Next question.
Next
Who got
question.
it?
I got
Tyler.
one. This is from Connor Custodio. How do you balance training and family time?
Oh,
Good question. Very fitting that Connor asked that.
yeah.
Stud of an athlete himself.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, for context, I guess people should know Connor is, he's an insanely good athlete and coach. Just think of any person in your life. He could take that person, and if they actually dedicated themselves to being coached by him, he could probably get them to 95 to 98% of their potential as an athlete. Connor is that good. He coaches CrossFit Mayhem athletes and stuff. So it's a fitting question for Connor. And so speaking to him as a friend, I don't know how easy it would be to find an appropriate balance at the level he does things at with having a kid, or especially if you have 2 toddlers running around your house. But I think for the every man and every woman, I don't know. Again, we're just going off the cuff. So I think what comes to mind for me is basically, I think you have to figure out if you're going to pursue some kind of athletic pursuit, some kind of training goal, then you have to figure out where you're going to sacrifice. So for me, that's sleep. I basically said 6 hours a night is now the high end of what I'm going to get. And my training is going to be done in the morning, and that's going to be the next few years,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's just the bucket I pull from now is sleep.
Yeah. Will, what about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of second to Colin on a couple of things. One, Connor is a stud. I think Wes, was I talking to you about Connor and how dialed in he had me with
Yeah.
CrossFit?
Yeah. When you were
Just
pursuing that.
incredible. I had never felt that dialed in my life, and just wealth of information. So shout out Connor.
We'll
Unfortunately,
plug Connor's social stuff
I would
on here.
recommend Connor to anyone, not even if you're not elite, if you're a beginner, if you're average, if you just want to become more self-aware of yourself, physically. I think he is an amazing tool. I would say I was pretty advanced in terms of a normal fitness level, and Connor taught me a lot. So, um, shout out to you, Connor. Um, Good question. Again, second to Colin. I truly don't think there is a balance. I drive myself crazy always trying to find that balance that seems to not exist. I think you have to come to terms with, like anything in life, making fitness or your health a priority to the extent that you want it to will create lapses in other areas. It's like that one book, I forgot it was like, excuse my language, but the fuck budget. And you can only allocate 100% to the budget, and you can only allocate percentages elsewhere, and you're going to take from another area to give it more.
The
Um,
Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, that book.
and I think it's coming to terms and being content with where you choose to put your focus. Wes, we just talked about this. Maybe some days you can prioritize your fitness over other things, but then there's going to come days where you need to prioritize that date night with your wife because you've been either working or doing personal things or working out, and just having that undivided attention um, to your wife to make her feel like your relationship is still special to you and it's a priority to you is important. Um, I mean, if you do that every night, then you probably lack in working out and lack in your career or your personal things that you enjoy doing that keep you sane. So I would say the balance is going to be determined by you. And for your mental stability, the balance that you're happy with, that you're not going to continue to say, like, oh, I can't do that because I'm doing this. Because then I think it becomes a negative if you look
Uh,
at it like that. So, kind of like Colin, find what works for you in the areas of life that you have, and be happy with it. And if you have to make adjustments, don't take it too hard on yourself or feel like you're failing in an area. Just make those adjustments. And I'm telling you this as I continue to fail on that mostly every day. So it's good to talk about it because it's good reminders. I feel like we hit this a lot, but
yeah.
um, it is something I have to tell myself all the time because like I used to be way more fit. So I feel like compared to you guys are way much better shape. I'm on the other side a little bit where I still work out, but I used to be with Connor, it's programming 7 days a week. You know, even on your rest days, you're doing a recovery type thing to perform and be better. So I've gone through these ebbs and flows, and sitting here, I haven't found what like I feel happy with myself about in terms of my fitness. And then also my work and Aaron, so and Callie. So um it's tough, but working every day to find it kind of thing. So
Uh,
Wes,
I think that it starts with having a partnership and figuring out what are those hobbies, and then how are you going to spend your time on every given day or throughout the week, sectioning off time to do that. Because I can have 2 or 3 hours a day to train or play video games or whatever it may be. But if I'm not communicating effectively with my wife about what are my passions or what are my hobbies, and if she doesn't know ahead of time, maybe at the beginning of the week, here's what I'm going to do, or hey, here's when I'm going to spend time doing this, like then you're going to just create a lot of muddiness in your relationship because you can't just piece out on your wife. You guys know this and be like, hey, I'm going to go do this for 2 or 3 hours. Like, so I think it starts with first like having that, hey, like, all right, we got to figure out how am I going to fit this hobby into my schedule or our schedule, truthfully, and then being respectful to what that looks like with the family time that you want to section off, and then also your wife's time and what does she want to do? How does she want to spend her free time? And so, I have the luxury of being, I think, more maybe flexible with that than the average dad, being that I get to work from home. So I can figure out times in the morning or at night to maybe do things, or maybe pick off like a section in between some meetings at the house where I'm going to go and work out for an hour or so. But for somebody that might have an 8 to 5 job and they got to leave the house every day, Colin, to your point, you might have to figure out, all right, am I either going to do this early in the morning before my wife and my kid wakes up, or I'm going to have to figure out a time to do it late at night. Or I'm going to have set expectations with my wife that, hey, right after work, I'm going to go to the gym, but I'll be home at set time. I think Will, you talked about that. Like, we go to burn at a set time, and then we come home, and now we have our 2 hours of family time. I just feel like that's what's worked the best for Leah and I, is figuring out what's going to work best for our schedules together.
You make a good point. Like, I think myself too, I was thinking about, like, I could definitely be better with, and that's a huge component, Wes. I'm glad you said that, is you're trying to figure out your priorities and your balance, but you have a wife and you have a kid. It needs to be discussed with both parties. Like, making it clear, like, this is a priority to me. How can we make this work? And like you said, if that's, you want to work out the way you want to work out, but that means like less chill time of you just kind of like vegging out and relaxing on the couch, then that's a decision you make. But like, communicating that to where the wife understands it's a priority to you, you care about this, but it's also a priority for her needs to be met and the baby. So like, how can we make this work into a functioning thing?
Like, I used to play video games all the time. I don't play video games anymore because I don't have the ability to play Call of Duty for 2 hours at night and then also be like, hey, I want to go train for 2 hours for this Iron Man that's coming up. Like, I just can't. Like, that's so I have to choose what is the thing that I'm going to spend my time doing, and it's right now it's train for Ironmans and fitness, and I love it. And so when I have a little bit of free time or when I'm able to, I'm going to do it on that, and I'm going to sacrifice playing video games or sometimes even hanging out with friends. Like, it's just the way it is.
Well, and then one other thing I would say, because I know, like, and maybe a lot of people that will end up listening to this are potentially former athletes and stuff. And so they're kind of the personality type that has a competitive background and still wants to kind of keep that somehow. I think that whenever we have our jobs or whatever it is that takes up a huge chunk of the day, so, call it 8 to 5, and that job or whatever it is doesn't necessarily coincide with the hobbies we have or the other kind of goals that we have that keep us fulfilled or whatnot. So basically what ends up happening then is, because we all have to pay our bills and stuff, the things that you want to actually be doing that you find meaning and fulfillment in inevitably get pushed to the margins of the day. So like you said, Wes, it's either kind of morning or nighttime. And truly, to be able to stay fit and healthy, like, is very doable on like those margins of the day. Like, it doesn't take a ton of work to like be a really healthy person. But I think one of the things that I think makes things really tough is that the people who have the most influence in those realms are, they're not bad people, but like, I want to use him as an example. Like, so when you have Nick Bare, who is influencing so many guys like us in the realm of health and fitness and athletics, what we do is we see him, and then like that's now the ideal standard. Or the standard. And so now you actually have a problem when it's like, how can I fit that goal into the margins of my day? And now there's like pressure created to not just be fit and healthy, to show up as like a healthy dad and human in society, but like, how can I be the best,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the pressure that people feel ends up coming from. Because like, it's not hard to balance being fit and being a father and husband. That's not hard at all. But trying to be Nick Bare can be pretty hard, especially if you're just starting, especially if it's like a hobby that you don't have a background in, but you're just kind of starting now.
I mean, I would say generally speaking, it is hard to balance those three things. I think for you, because you're super disciplined and because You've
Sure.
accumulated years and years of knowing what to do and how to do it, and like you have this self motivation to set this standard within your lifestyle that it's easy for you. But I think the reason why so many dads lose themselves, or people after college kind of lose themselves, is because it is hard. Like,
Yeah.
I have to schedule out things that I used to be able to do whenever I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. I used to be able to just do whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it. And then you get married, and now it's like, all right, now that freedom, it lessens a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you have a kid, and then it's like, oh crap, now my life actually revolves around my family and their time. So I have to have this intense discipline and create this consistency, or it's organizing in my day of, this is a priority to me, so I need to make time for it.
Yeah.
That's where I think it becomes the challenge for most people, and why most dads get the dad bod.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle of both of what you guys just said, because I agree, Wes, it is. But to Colin's point, and maybe this is because I come from like a fitter background, but to be healthy and fit, like, move your body and eat healthy. Like, it's truly that simple in 95% of cases. And so if you're telling me you can't have 45 minutes a day to go on a run walk and make healthy food choices, then that's a tough thing. Like, if you can't dedicate that,
Yeah, no,
then
I agree with that.
I think what Colin said, I just related to, because what standard in my head am I thinking of Will Tillo's fitness level?
Like daily
well,
level that you were at back in college or whatever. Yeah.
Which is not obtainable. I was lifting heavy with a structured workout routine. That was my job, to show up for those workouts.
Yeah.
So it's, I think I battle that. That's honestly probably the biggest thing I battle, is in my head. I see, and I love Nick Bear and like what he does, but like,
Yeah.
you see someone like that and you're like, you relate and are like, wow, that's awesome. And then you're like, holy shit, I am miles away from being, and then you put this pressure when it's almost like just the thing, like, be 1% better, and like just keep doing, or being one step better than the week before. For me, it could start as just not like cutting out drinking, cutting out meals where I have an option to choose something healthy, and I'm kind of like, I don't really care, I'm gonna get the sandwich and fries. I used to be extremely strict with that. So I think both you guys are right. I think it's way harder than it seems. But where Colin's saying, like, the base level of being a healthy person is not that difficult if it matters to you. I think it's adjusting your standards to be obtainable for your life.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think is a good.
Great question, Connor. Great question. I have another one I can rattle off.
Yeah, sure. Screw my questions.
This is from Houston. UFC 318 recap. And did Dustin's retirement hit y'all differently being girl dads? So, Colin, probably, did you watch the recent UFC?
I can't speak to that one, so this is going to be a perfect time to take a bathroom break, and I'll be right back.
Yep.
Did you watch the fight, Will?
Yeah, the next day I didn't.
Okay. So,
Fall asleep.
Houston, don't be mad at me, but I didn't even watch the card.
Houston's gonna be hurt, dude.
So I apologize. I let down the UFC world with this card not being watched at all, but I was dead. I fell asleep at like 10
Do you
o'clock.
even know the results?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Dustin lost. So I can't speak to the recap of the entire card, but I will say this. Slowly over time became a big Dustin fan for the fact that he was a great fighter. He went to war. Truthfully, like every single fight.
Every single time, yeah.
He was such a great entertainer, and he did a ton for his community. Was, from the outside looking in, a stand-up dad and an awesome father, and I just admired the way that he went about all of that. So, did his retirement hit me differently being girl dads? No, but I did listen to the post-fight interview, and he talked a lot about just being excited to be a dad and be more present in his family's life, and he talked about after the fight, he's like, I already told my daughter we're going to watch a movie and eat some popcorn. And he's like, I was gone for 9 weeks training. I love Dustin Poirier. I think he's an awesome fighter. Colin, you watched Dustin fight Michael Chandler at Will's Bachelor trip, and he won that fight. He always had great fights. So sorry, Houston, didn't watch the fight, but I do love Dustin. He's awesome. Will, anything to add?
My input, yeah, same all sentiment to Dustin as Wes, but I'll say that Max Holloway continues to impress me. It feels like he's a really old vet, but he's only 33, which is wild. He's just been in the UFC since he was like 22 years old. But him at 155 compared to 145, he looks like a different animal at 155. I mean, knocking out Justin Gaethje and then beating Dustin like that, which I thought he was going to knock him out in round 1, is pretty incredible. So I'm excited to see Max Holloway at 155. Him versus Tapirio would be a sick fight.
They did fight.
No, I meant like a rematch. Didn't they fight? They fought at 145. I'm saying,
oh yeah,
155 fight because Tapirio looks sweet there.
Yeah, that would be a good fight.
Well, because I was listening to a guy, John Anik's podcast, and they were saying that Holloway, I don't know why he didn't move to 155 sooner. He walks around at like 185, 190. So he was cutting 50 pounds to fight at 145. That doesn't even make sense. Why? Like,
yeah,
I get because he's lengthy, so he was a big 145er, but like that just seems like your body won't recover from it. So,
yeah.
But that's my thing. Love Dustin. I wish he would have won, honestly, to go out like that, but Max Holloway impresses me. So that's our UFC 318 recap for the main event.
All right, Will, you got another question?
What's something that you would do differently in your singlehood now? Knowing how being a husband/fatherhood is. Like, what's something differently you would have done before being in a serious relationship and being a father?
Like, if I could go back to when I was single, what's something I would do differently? That's a tough question.
I don't know that I want to like spend too much time getting into this, so I'll keep it just kind of surface level. But I if I could go back, I would want to try to have a better understanding of intimacy versus attraction. Like, I think I just like a lot of guys and people do, like, just kind of are interested in people who you think are attractive. But I don't know that I ever really was consciously looking for intimacy in a relationship. And inevitably, like, that's what the marriage then has to rely on long term.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Being a dad now and being a husband and being a dad now, what would I
think for me, and I would say it was something that I learned last year. This maybe even played a little bit into my single years, but I think that maybe I just always focused on the next thing all the time. And I think that knowing what I've went through being married and having kids, being more present in the moment, enjoying the season of life that you're in and not chasing like the next thing or feeling like, oh, I'm at this age mark, I have to now do this thing, or I have to now have this job, or I have to be making X amount of dollars. I think that maybe I would have pursued my passions more being single versus trying to make a lot of money and just have a career so that I could like go live on my own and buy X and whatever. Yeah. I think I would have maybe been more intentional about not caring about the status of certain points in life and just being more diligent on enjoying that season of life and appreciating the freedom more too. That's one thing that I realized I took for granted was how much freedom you do have in life.
Like how selfish you can be when you're like, and not selfish in a negative way too. Like I'm saying, like how selfish you can be with your time.
Yeah. Just how much time did I waste just doing nothing because I took it for granted. But that's a good question. I like that one. Will, do you have anything to add to that?
Something different you do in your singlehood. Now that I'm a husband to Aaron and a father, I would never have kissed another girl. I would have saved these lips for Aaron.
Damn, Will wins this one. That's all of our responses. Will just responded for all of us. That's obviously the answer. We'd all do it.
No. I mean, it's tough because I started dating Aaron when I was still very young. So I feel like all of us, I think we're younger too. So it's kind of, I think, a tougher question because, how serious and legitimate was singlehood. Like through the stages of life we were in, we were younger. So what did we like singlehood from us? If we were single up until this point, that's a lot of, you know what I mean? And if we got married later, I don't know. Um,
That's true. You guys didn't really have like a long span of, you would call it being single. You were
yeah,
like out of high school into college, and then within a year or so, you were dating your wives today.
yeah. I don't
That's
know. I
true.
guess maybe one thing that I would, and I guess this goes back to like when I was really young, but just having a daughter now and being her dad, I would go about the way I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say I treated women badly, but like, maybe some of the flings or anything like that, I wouldn't treat like that's someone's daughter too. You know what I mean? So like as a dad, um, and a husband, I don't know, maybe I would have not been such a boy about things. You know what I mean? I guess maybe that goes to Colin's point too. In my younger relationship too, just be more respectful to like young girls when I was young and I was with them.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think I would hope someone would treat Callie at a better than I treated young ladies.
I think what you're getting at, Will, is now being a dad of a girl. You know firsthand, like you don't want her to date a guy that does not love her.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I mean, I can certainly admit that I dated girls I definitely did not love. I also don't want to like talk badly about that or condemn that or
No.
like it but being a dad of a girl now has made me kind of realize that like you grow up with kind of a uh I don't know if this is the right word to use, but like animalistic view of women. I just want to like find the most attractive ones.
Yeah.
And but then you have a daughter and you're like, that's so backwards. Like so I oftentimes when I'm just like kind of in a mood, I get in my car and like drive to work and I put on the song I Loved Her First. I don't know if you guys know that song. Um and I'll just like sit there and just weep thinking about Eden. But I like I love it because it's like being a dad to a daughter, um like you just have a sense of what it actually feels like to love someone unconditionally, and then you can kind of recognize that's what I expect for my daughter. And so how much of love and intimacy have I been missing out on my entire life when I've just kind of pursued it from this one side of just trying to find the most attractive girls. You know, I don't know if that's making a ton of sense, but I definitely understand what you're saying, Will.
I guess it would be like I don't know, treat women how you would want your daughter treated. I guess I don't know if I did a good job of explaining that, but just some more respect for women. Not that I like disrespected women for a living as a younger person, but just treat them different. Be more conscious of that.
All right. Here's a question. I got this question from Colin, your dad, and from Leah, my wife. And it is, what is your favorite thing about being a dad?
I feel like I could cry answering this. Um, I don't mind. I don't mind going first if.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
go ahead.
I think about often that my favorite part of being a dad is that every day I get to choose to like be there and build this bond with Callie, if that makes sense. I think about it a lot. I'm putting in the work today to be there for her, support her, care for her, try to teach her to be the kindest, sweetest individual. And I know it's like, maybe it sounds dumb saying that because she's so young, but just little things. I get to be with her every single day. And I hope that when she's older, like even seeing Margot, the way Margot looks at US, and I know Callie will be there one day, but being that person for Callie, that is her rock, is someone she trusts, is someone that she can go to. Like I'm like my favorite part of being a dad is knowing I just want her to know like how important and like love she is to me.
Yeah.
And like how special that is because not everyone has that. And I think that is such a big part in people's lives and can make such an impact. So that I think my favorite part is just being Callie's dad and building that relationship with her, that she has a dad that she can lean on, look up to, go to for advice, and like feel supported. I thought about this the other day. We were watching Love Island, and I cried the entire time they had the parents come on, and the dad couldn't make it for whatever reason, and he wrote her a card, and he was like, just saying how proud he was and everything, and she was just bawling, saying like, my dad is my best friend, like he is the best man, like the way he treats my mom, like he's always been there for me. I hope to find someone like my dad. Like, dude, I was like sitting there just freaking eating it up, bro.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, it would mean the most in the world to me if Callie was just with her friends or somewhere and she had those same feelings towards me. And so that's my favorite part, is trying to build that support and love for Callie so that she feels that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Yeah, it's funny because when you said, like, I don't know if you meant this, but you said my favorite part about being a dad is being Callie's dad, and it almost sounds like overly simplistic, but I do think there's, like, in a deeper sense, that is actually the thing. Is that you're not just a dad in a vague sense. You're the dad of that particular girl, you know? And the title dad for you, at least not right now, but like doesn't apply to anyone else but Callie, you know? Like my fatherhood is completely bound up with Eden, you know? And it's just like that, the best part is just that I get to have a unique and special bond with Eden, and I don't want that particular bond with anybody else.
Yeah.
It's just like I get to be Eden's dad. And then so like whenever she does all the stuff that feels like she's reciprocating that feeling, like when she well, you know, when I come home and she either like runs and hides from me and is like being playful, or if she says hi dada, you know, like whatever she's doing is just kind of communicating to me that like I'm her
Like
person.
you're her world. Yeah, you're her
Yeah.
dad. Like that's all she knows.
That
You.
feeling is just like you can't, I don't know, you can't replicate it. And I'm sure like you know, the next kid will be replicated in a way that's unique to that kid. And but I think it just comes down to like the best part about being a dad is just that you have this bond with someone. And also I've been thinking about this a lot too. It came up for me because Eden really likes Moana. Wes, I know
Margot loves Moana.
you said Margot loves Moana too. But there's a point in the movie where, and like it might be just like reading too much into a Disney movie, but when she's kind of going through the whole we left her and she thinks she's gonna have to fight the Taka on her own. But there comes a point she's singing the song that's kind of like climax of the whole movie. And the one line in the song, like when the music changes and it gets all dramatic and stuff, she sings "I am Moana," And to me, I'm like, it's a picture of a person understanding their sense of self, like understanding who they are, and like, oh, I can do this thing that's in front of me because I am Eden. I'm Eden Thomas. That's why I can do this thing in front of me. And I think also as a parent in general, but as a dad in our context, getting to like having the responsibility of helping form your child's sense of self is really weighty, but I think it's such an honor to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like we are responsible with our wives for instilling in our daughters like who they know themselves to be in their core. Like when the world around them gets chaotic, what can they come back to about who they are? And that's already been being formed in them since, a couple months old.
Couldn't agree more. I currently at this stage absolutely love just bringing a smile and a laugh to Margot. It is the highlight of my day, like almost every single day. So that's probably my favorite part about being a dad right now. It's just coming
It
home
really is
from
my favorite
work
part.
and she runs and daddy, or
Time to
knowing
play.
that she wants to play a certain way with me, and she knows the silly, goofy, wild, kind of crazy-ish type of playing is the type of playing that she's going to do with dad.
With dad. Mm-hmm.
And that like fulfillment that I get in bringing her joy and happiness and satisfaction and that adventure-y type of wild spirit that she has is something that I think often about. As she gets older, I always want her to have that type of feeling with me. And I want to like lead her in life in that way. I want her to feel that same type of happiness and joy and that adventurous spirit and that mentality, kind of what you had said, Colin, that I can do anything because my dad has made me feel this way. I love that responsibility. I know there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and the challenges that we're going to step into as our daughters get older are things we obviously can't even really truthfully put into words now. But I think that role of being a dad and being the protector and the leader and the one that they go to for specific things is something that I look forward to a lot as well. And I think we all have unique experiences with our own dads or observing other family members too, where there's gaps in maybe what we feel like was right, or areas where we felt like I think my dad could have done a better job in there too. So there's like a lot of things that I think we take into this position that we have that we've learned from our fathers, and some of that is like I don't ever want to do that thing that I saw my dad do or that I witnessed my dad do. But there's also a lot of stuff too that I'm like, man, my dad was really amazing in these areas, and I want to pass that on to my kids too.
Yeah.
So there's like a sense of like tradition or culture or even legacy that I feel a lot of responsibility to pass on to my kids through what I witnessed and through what I experienced with my dad that like excites me about being a dad as well.
Yep.
And what I love about it.
Yeah, totally agree.
It's a great question. Love it. There was a second part to that, which is what's your least favorite part? We could be like super quick with that.
The least favorite part about being a dad. I mean, I feel like it's almost just part of the territory, but it is tough. So, like, basically, just kind of like we've talked about, your time is just not your own, and so when you get home from work, it's like it's so tough to say this because it's a gift and a blessing to be able to be with your kid and watch your kid, but at the same time, if you have other things that kind of need done, you don't really have the freedom to do them. And so you just kind of always have to be watching a toddler. It's just a hard thing. It's an exhausting thing to do. It's just constantly parental duty. Unless it's like a designated time off.
Yeah. So my response, which is similar to that, but kind of maybe a little different, is that there's a lot of like small stressors that you just can't get around. For example, Margot will go through periods of time where she doesn't eat certain foods. And that's just a super small thing that like stresses you out and that can just put you in a bad mood. We just cooked food, you don't want to eat it. All right, let's now go to option B, which is making something that we know you always want to eat, but for whatever reason this night you don't want to eat that as well.
Yeah.
So you're just being a bad eater tonight. And we know that's going to play into you maybe not sleeping the greatest. Like just small stressors that can just make the day not as great. It just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
They are sociopaths.
No, I'm with Colin. I actually, Wes. So this is what I was talking to Leah about downstairs when you were called down and were like, "What was that?" Like you thought she was talking shit, but she wasn't. We were literally saying that it is the best thing in the world. Like I just got done saying how great it is, and that is true. But what can also be true is exactly what Colin said. I think my least favorite part is you realize just how selfish with your time and your needs. And a kid 100% takes the top place on your responsibility chart. And I think with that comes stress into the other areas of your life that sometimes can bleed into what I just said is my favorite part about being a dad. But sometimes, you can be frustrated. Like you had a long day, you sat down for 1 second and the baby just starts freaking out about something, not eating, or the baby's not going down. Like there's the least part is that I think just the overall added time and stress, but like that's just part of being a dad and you figure it out. But I would say it's not an easy adjustment. If anyone says it is, then they're lying to you because that's not true. Like you just have to find your new way.
Sure.
I'm not saying that I don't like that my kid takes up my time. It's just it's impossible for it not to bleed over into the other wants and needs of your life. Yeah. And so not allowing it to affect your time with your kid, not letting it affect your relationship with your wife or your personal things is like my least favorite part because it's the hardest part for me.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I got 2 more questions. We can rattle through them quick.
So that's it? We just have 2 left?
Well, I have probably 3 or 4 more, but I think there's like 2 that would be like.
I have like 10 questions on my phone.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but we'll rattle through yours, Wes. I can save mine for this is a good thing.
Do we want to do a part 2? Like
Yeah.
We could potentially.
just save
I
them?
think this is good conversation piece regardless of what episode.
All right. This came from Chris Barringer.
Behringer.
Oh, Chris.
Behringer.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
The question was, what values would you instill in being a successful dad in day-to-day life? I'm going to tweak a little bit and by saying what would be the number one value that you would say would play into being a successful dad.
Yeah.
Based on our limited experience, obviously, of being in this for 2 years. Just because I think we could all have a big list of values that would take a long time. So just for the sake of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think if he's asking like, as a father, what should I value so that I can make decisions like in alignment with those values? There's, a ton I think that we could pick from. I'll try to pick one that I think maybe you guys wouldn't, so that we'll have some difference. I would say reliability, like making decisions that prove you will be there time and again for your child and your spouse. Would be, I think, a good value to try to strive for.
100%.
Yeah. I like that.
Like that.
But you will.
Mine was adaptability. It goes back to when we said you're never going to be ready, but your kid will make you ready. You have to be able to adapt to your child, your new life, your new time, your new everything. And if you think it's going to go a certain way and are going to structure it that way, it's not going to go that way. And if you're not able to pivot on that, I think you'll start to really stress yourself out. I think that's one thing me and Aaron did really well together. In the beginning was just say like, this is going to be insane. And we're just in this together. And like, we kind of took, not saying it was all sunshine and roses. I'm just saying, I think we really did a great job. We just leaned on each other when we needed to. And we went with the punches with sleeping and eating and all that stuff that happens with a kid. And I think being adaptable will be like one of your biggest like strengths in terms of being a dad. Being adaptable to the whole thing. So
I was gonna do adaptability as well. Okay, so I would say being supportive, and I'm kind of speaking this more so in regards to like relationship aspect of being parents. I think being in harmony with your wife or with your husband is really important when parenting. I do believe in every family dynamic there's always going to be certain topics where maybe you have a differing opinion than your wife or your husband, but I think getting to a place where you're both able to walk in lockstep with each other is super important. I think that bleeds into other stages of life with your kids as they get older. I think when your kids see their parents mutually aligned on like everything, I think it just plays a huge role in their confidence, and I think it teaches them values and things that they want to have in their relationship without it being intentional. So I think just being supportive of the decisions that you make together, I think a really good value that
I think
maybe
one
it's not
thing
a
you said,
fatherly value, but it's more of like a co-parenting value, I would say.
I mean, it's part of being a dad. One thing you said, like being aligned. I don't necessarily it's being aligned. It's what you said earlier, where you're not going to always agree on things, but being able to talk through that and be a team.
Yeah. Well, like for example, I don't think it's good for your kids, or I don't want Margot to ever think that me and Leah are like combative with each other on certain decisions that we make for her.
Right.
I want her to be like, both of my parents said this, they believe this, so therefore it is what they say it is. Not, well, my dad says and thinks this, but my mom says and thinks this in regards to their life, because then I think it can cause friction. I think that then you create all this other, I think,
Well, it's
mess.
confusing to the kids probably at a
Correct.
young
Yeah.
age, you know?
So
I mean, they
like,
should just know the dad is right every fucking time.
so it's not really that much of a role in the beginning stages because our kids that are 2, they don't understand it quite yet. But I do think when you start to build good habits and like, hey, we're going to be supportive in each other and be aligned with the decisions that we make, then it becomes easier, obviously, as they get older, because stuff is going to be.
Yeah.
Well,
And especially if they can witness that from mom and dad when they know they maybe like disagree on something, you know, whether it's a small decision or a big decision, but like they still see one another
get out.
being supportive
Yeah.
and witnessing how to like that you can have differences but still be a cohesive unit together.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Because like you said, if you wait, it may not matter now, but if you wait to focus on that when they're 5 and 7 years old, it's too late. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be, may not be too late, but it'll be extremely difficult if you don't create that base.
Yeah.
So,
All right. This came from Aaron's mom.
our
biggest supporter.
Our biggest
supporter.
fan.
No, we need to, let's give, and Mama Murph, I told you that the guys appreciate you, but you were, before we became famous, you were the first person to listen, first person to comment, give us feedback, and we all really appreciate it. I can assure you that. So thank you for your passion.
Mama
passion
Murph.
for the pod.
You're a real one. So her question was, what are your thoughts about baby number 2?
All right, I take everything nice back that I just said.
That's so funny.
We obviously won't be giving any
such a
answers
mom
to
question.
that right now, but
Surprise, Aaron's
they're in the
pregnant.
works. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're
Are
waiting.
you guys planning trying 2026 baby? Is that
I mean,
anything you'd be willing to-
I feel like we can answer that. I mean, I don't know if me and Kelsey will end up like legit trying really hard to, nail down a specific time, but we've talked about,
Nail down, nice.
we've talked about, like next July. So like a year from now, if Kelsey were to get pregnant, seems to be kind of an ideal time for when she would deliver and then basically be gearing up for summer when she's off work. And then it would also put Eden and baby number 2 like 3.5 years apart, which is, I mean, I don't know if there's anything special to
Crazy
that,
to think
but
about.
yeah, yeah, that's wild to think about. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked about that. And again, I don't know if we'll end up like really trying super hard to do that, but it's an idea right now.
I think on a similar page. I think Erin just has been enjoying feeling like herself again. I think that's a big thing, and we definitely want another kid, but we're like in the same thing. Like we also think that it would be nice to have them 3-4 years apart, and just to have a baby at that development stage with a newborn. That's yeah. That was so crisp, dude.
Don't worry, I'll cut that out.
No, you don't have to. But no, I think baby number 2 is definitely a thing. It's just it's later down in the timeline, I would say.
Yeah.
Late 2026, maybe.
let's all just try to pair when our wives are pregnant as best as we can together.
Can you imagine them all getting pregnant again and then we all have girls again?
Dude, no, please, no, bro. I need to have a son, dude. I need a son, dude. No, my whole dad's side of the family, which, as you guys know, are Peruvian and just very like passionate and prideful about their culture, are like hardcore about like every time I see him, you need to have a son, you need to have a son.
Dang.
Like, you're the only one that can pass on the last name and all that. So that's really all it comes down to. But yeah, Leah and I are gonna, God willing, if we had the perfect timing of things for our second, are gonna start trying end of this year, beginning of next year. So we would hopefully aim to have a baby next year, but we'll see. So yeah, let's all have babies together, guys. It's best for the wives too, right? Okay. This is let's end on this note. I think this is the perfect last question for us. There's a couple more that I had, which we can save for next time. This is from Kelsey.
Oh, nice.
And her question is, when are the wives getting on? We're sick of hearing your incorrect storytelling. And I do have to say that I am often very off in the accuracy of the stories that I tell. And I find out
like we admit that though. We like own it. We're like,
yeah, most of the time I'm like, I kind of don't remember this and that. But there's just certain details that just I don't have a memory bank for them. I don't know if that's just a dad thing or a me thing, but like certain things I'm just like, oh, I don't remember that. Like for whatever reason, I just didn't save it in my hard drive. So Leah, I'm sorry for that. But to answer that question, Kelsey, do you guys have a response to that?
I mean, we've been talking about that for
Yeah.
months now.
Yeah.
I think they're being pansies. Like they talk shit about it and then don't want to get on. Like
What
just
I would say is if this video, and we'll make a clip of this right now. So we're going to clip this.
yeah.
If this episode gets more views than any other episode we put out, then episode 7 will be with the wives.
Whoa.
If this episode gets 20 views,
Not 20
We'll go.
views, dude.
we'll bring the wives on.
If this episode gets 215,000 views.
Yeah. If this clip gets 250,000 TikTok views, then we'll think. No, I'm kidding.
I want them on. I think it would be hilarious.
If they just decide they want to put in the work, I mean, we're here, time after time. 8 to 11, sometimes 1 in the morning.
That's the real question back to them is if you really want to be a part of the podcast, are you willing to grind till 12?
No, let me watch this. You know what would be funny? You know what's going to be funny? When we tell them, hey, podcast starts at 9 o'clock, they're going to say, that's too late.
I have a feeling we'd be surprised at how like tactical they'd be at just answering the questions. I feel like we'd be like, wow, we actually vent or not vent, but we get off on tangents more.
Ramble, go down rabbit trails.
They were more like specific to talking about the actual topics. All right. Well, this was fun. I loved answering the questions. Thanks to everybody for.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thanks,
we literally
guys.
I have 8 or 9 questions. Will, you had how many?
Another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions I did not get.
Okay, so like close to 20 questions came in, and we posted the question poll on social media like 10 minutes before we started the episode. So thanks for giving us some substance to talk about, everybody. And hopefully those that weren't specifically asking questions, but that were able to listen to the episode enjoyed us just kind of ad-libbing and talking about different things versus having a specific topic on this episode to discuss. So
yeah, and we'll take screenshots or something of the questions that we didn't get to, so we can kind of keep a log of them and do this again here soon. So also if you wanted to ask a question but you didn't get to yet, still send them in, and we'll keep the log going until we do this again, which should hopefully be pretty soon.
Yeah, either comment on any social platform, a question, or direct message. That'll work. But yeah, this is fun, guys.
All right.
Any parting words, Colin?
Till next time. 10-4.
Baby, lock them doors and turn the
Lights down low.
All right, that's good.